short practice, we're going to start with some standing warm-ups. So start with feeling broad across your shoulders. We're going to do a couple of neck circles, letting your chin drop to your chest, and then slowly taking your chin across to look over your right shoulder. We'll start with a small lift of the chin, arcing all the way over to the left. So you're feeling control through the muscles of your neck, so not lifting the chin too high to start with. Looking all the way over your left shoulder, and then the chin can drop down, slowly coming back to center. And then we'll go over to the left first. So going over to the left, lifting up, looking over the shoulder, starting to lift the chin up just enough to feel some length to the front of your throat, all the way across to the right, lowering your chin down and back to center. We'll do one more like that, going over to the right again, feeling the neck rotating, lifting the chin, and as you arc across, just feeling how the neck vertebrae are rotating on themselves, all the way to the left, noticing how your muscles are feeling, chin lowers down, back to center, and then over to the left again. So you can feel the muscles on the sides of your neck, on the back of your neck contracting, and on the front of your neck lengthening. And then back down to center. And then just have a few circles through your shoulders, loosening up. Both directions. And then from there, just planting through your feet, just going to swing the arms. And as you swing, just start to turn a little bit side to side. So you start to loosen up through the trunk, your rib cage, and feel your spine rotating as well. And we're just going quite slowly. And you can even take your arms across on a diagonal at the front, so your shoulder blade, your upper back muscles join in. Just letting the whole upper body loosen. And then the next time you start to turn to the right, we're going to hold that, reach up through the arms, and then slowly rotate the palms to face the ceiling. As you inhale, feel your rib cage broaden. As you exhale, pull your shoulders down, extending out through the crown of your head, reaching out through your arms. And just holding that for another breath or two, and feel that little bit more intensity of rotation and stretch across your chest. And then we'll let the arms relax down. I'm going to do the same to the left. So as you swing to the left, reach your arms up, take a full breath in. As you exhale, let your shoulders draw down. Palms are facing the ceiling. And then from there, can you lengthen up through your crown and find a breath across your chest, nice and broad. And then come back to a swing. So from here, we'll turn to face the top of the mat. And as you inhale, take your arms wide, reach both your arms up. Filling your whole trunk with the breath. And then a slow exhale down through your hands, grounding through your feet. You can bend your knees as your arms come down. Inhale, reaching up again. Finding length through your spine along your sides. Exhaling and slowly feeling that calming of the exhale. Let's do one more like that. Inhaling up. And exhaling, feeling the hands lowering down slowly. Bending your knees, coming into a forward fold with your fingertips on the floor. You could let your head relax right down, just give your neck a little bit of a nod, side to side movement, maybe rolling your shoulders a few times. So making use of being upside down to kind of traction out your neck spine, your upper spine, and just feeling how you get some nice stretching along the backs of the legs. And then from there, we're going to walk the legs back, drop down onto your knees, and come up with your hands to your waist. So from here, step your right leg forward into the low lunge position. I'm going to be doing my left just to show you the movement more easily. And from there, we're going to inhale, stretch up, lengthening through both sides. As you exhale, slowly rotating to the right, coming into that rotation again, feeling your ribs and spine turning, and then let your arms lower down. Inhaling both arms up, exhale, turning to the right. Letting your arms lower down. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, turning to the right. This time we'll hold it just for that little bit longer. You can squeeze in at your hips,
Notice how you're using all your muscles around your rib cage and spine to turn you. Taking a breath across your chest, reaching out through the arms. And then slowly let's lean forward, bring your left fingertips to the mat. You could take your right arm up to the ceiling, or you could bring your hand down to your waist. And then from there, with an exhale, just let that arm float down to the floor. As you inhale, turning again, keeping those shoulders down away from the ears, so we're really feeling open chest. And again, exhaling down, inhaling, feeling everything rotate to the side. Exhaling down. Option this time to lift your back knee up for the last two. That's just an option. Pushing through that front foot, going light on your left fingers as possible, and turning again. You can push your right knee a little bit away from you. We're finding length from heel to crown. One breath there. Exhaling the hand down, and then let's do one more. And then from there, both sets of fingertips on the floor. I'm just going to swap legs to show you. Take your right hand to the inside of your right foot and swivel to the side, so you're in a wide-legged forward bend. You can keep your toes slightly pointing out. And then the first one slowly, just bending into your left knee. You can take your hands over with you. And seeing how much bend you can find in your ankle, knee and hip, keeping your heel down to start with. And then make your way over to the right, and same thing. How much can you bend into your ankle, knee, hip there? And then just do a couple more to each side, just exploring that movement, sort of a squat position in one leg. You might notice some stretch in the other leg. And then from there, swiveling back to the top of your mat in the lunge position. You could either plant your hands, step back to down dog, or just lower your back knee down, come on up, hands to your waist, and we'll swap sides. So if you're doing the down dog option, you can pedal your legs, exhale to plank, and coming back down onto your knees. And then we'll do the second side, stepping your left leg forward. So from here, inhaling both arms up again, finding the length, exhale, rotating to the left, letting your arms float down. Inhaling, arms up, lengthening up through the whole trunk, exhaling, turning to the side. Arms drop down, inhaling up, feeling all that space in your trunk as you breathe, exhaling. This time I'm going to hold it. You could turn your palms up to the ceiling, feel the shoulders pull down, maybe draw your ribs in a bit, squeeze in at the hips, see if there's a tiny bit more turn, breathing across your chest. And then from there, just slowly leaning forward, right hand can come down to the mat, left arm either up or hand to your waist. And just see if you can expand into your back ribs, feel the whole rib cage broadening as you breathe in. As you exhale, floating your hand down. Just a couple more times, rotating to the side, feeling how your chest broadens. Exhaling the arm down. You could lift your back knee up for the last two, or you could keep your knee down. If you're lifting your back knee up, trying to keep as light as you can on your hand and push your left knee away from you. Extending from crown to heel, still expanding through the whole rib cage. Hand comes down. Let's do one more. Reaching up, exhaling the hand down. And then from there, we're going to take the left hand to the inside of the left foot. I'm just swapping to show you. And coming into the wide-legged forward bend, turning your toes out again, bending over to the right. And this time you could try a couple of variations. So maybe see if you could lower all the way down to sit on your heel, pulling your right heel towards you with the toes pointing to the ceiling. You might have to have your heel up to do this. And then you could do the same to the other side. If that isn't working for you, you just focus on bending into your ankle, knee and hip as much as you can. Or you could have a go coming all the way down, see how that feels. Another variation you could try is taking your hands off the floor. You could interlace your hands and leaning over, see how much bend you can find. Ideally, we're keeping the heel down. That's quite a challenge. That's just another option. You might prefer to have your hands on the floor and just be moving side to side, just feeling that connection between your ankle, your knee and your hips. And just noticing all the sense of stretching and muscles working in different places. And then from there we'll rotate back to the top of the mat in the lunge, either planting your hands, stepping back to down dog, or just dropping your knee and stepping back to a child's pose. So taking your time either to find child's pose or a down dog, or you might just come into a kneel and circle your hands. And if you're in your down dog, you might want to take the option of moving into a plank, knees up or down, lowering yourself to the mat, extending through your spine for a baby cobra, pulling your hands to your waist, and then coming back up. And wherever you are, just meeting back in a tall kneel. And we'll go back to the first side, so stepping your right leg forward. And then again, inhale, reaching your arms all the way up. Exhaling, this time hands all the way down to the mat. Tucking your back toe, option to lift up your back knee, and we're going to come into a high lunge, or you might just return your back knee to the mat and stay with the low lunge option. So whichever you choose. I'm going to bring the whole body upright. Inhale, take both arms all the way up. And as you exhale, turning to the right again, reaching out through your arms. So you might have your knee to the mat again, you might be in a high lunge position. Taking a breath or two there. Whichever position you're in, slowly leaning forward, taking the left hand to the mat. Top arm can be on your waist or up. Exhaling the hand, top hand down to the mat. And one more rotation to the side. If you're in a high lunge, pushing your right knee away from you. And then whichever position you're in, knee up or down, bringing your trunk slowly back up to the arms wide turn to the side position. So you're just coming all the way back up and then slowly lowering back down again. So whichever position you're in, there's a little bit of pushing through that front foot and leg that's required. There's a little bit more balance required to come up and down, so just have a little play around with that. You can play around with taking the top arm down again, taking the top arm up again. The knee can be up or down. You can try a few different variations, but we're simply finding this rotated position with the legs in a lunge and all the different things you can do. Okay, from there we're going to come into the lunge with the back knee up, both hands on the floor. And then again, taking your right hand to the inside of the right leg, let's rotate to the side. This time keeping your feet parallel. See how much knee bend you need to get your pelvis tilting forward. And with your legs as straight as they're comfortable to go, come into a forward bend. So your hands can be on the mat. Have some kind of length to your lower back. So rather than rounding from your lower back, you might want to bend your knees and see how that feels. Taking a full breath there. And then just walking your hands all the way over to your right foot, reaching your hands away from you, stretching along your left side. Just a slow, smooth breath, feeling your way along your left side. And then we'll do the same all the way across, fingers to the left, reaching your arms away from you. And as you slowly breathe in through your nose, just breathing all along the right side of your trunk. Just letting the face relax. And then from there we're going to turn back to the top of the mat to the lunge position, either lowering your knee down and swapping sides, or planting your hands, stepping back to a down dog. Any variations in your down dog. Exhaling to your plank and slowly dropping through your knees. And we'll meet back in the tall kneel for the second side. So this time it's the left leg stepping forward. Inhale, reaching up through both arms. And this time exhaling, hands to the mat. Tuck your back toe under. Option to keep your back knee down, or you're going to come into the high lunge. Either way, just bringing your trunk all the way back up, reaching your arms up. Pausing there for an extra breath. As you exhale, turning to the left, reaching out through your arms again. So you might be in the high lunge doing this, bending your front knee over your ankle as best you can, or you might have your knee down. One more breath there, and then as you exhale, start to lean forward. Bring your right fingertips to the mat, top arm either to your waist or up, and there you are on the rotation. Pushing your left knee a little away from you. Find that full breath through your ribs again, extending from head to heel. And then from there we're going to come back up to body upright. So that could be with the knee up or the down. Go really slowly, especially if your back knee's up. Just find the tips of your fingers first. Find the strength in your front leg. Enjoy the wobbling, which means your body's finding its center little by little, and then slowly coming back down. You could take that top arm down now and just repeat reaching up to the ceiling, turning to the side, whether your knee's up or down. And then just playing around with those options. So it might be knee down, turning to the side, pushing through that front foot to come up. That's also adds some balance challenge. It might be doing that with your back knee lifted up. It might be knee up, turning to the side and then coming down to lift up. It might be the knee up the whole time, turning to the side, slowly coming up, finding your balance, coming back down again. So seeing all the variations you can find there, breathing the rib cage broad, and just freeing up the rib cage, all the muscles around it, creating more pliability in your body as you rotate lots of times and lift your arm up. Okay, from there, keeping your back knee up, whichever option you did, take your left hand to the inside of the left foot and let's rotate to the side again. So this time as you're sideways on, plant your feet parallel, bend your knees a little and come onto the fingertips so your hands are in front of you, centered. And then see how it feels to take your right hand to your waist, push down through your left hand. Your knees could be really bent, trying to keep your lower back kind of flattish and lift your right elbow up to the ceiling. So you're doing a little turn to the right. So again, we're rotating the rib cage. See how that feels? You could reach up through that right arm if it feels comfortable. And pushing down through the bottom hand, breathing broad across your chest. And then lowering that right hand down, we'll do the same to the left. So starting with your hand on your waist, find some feeling of flatness through your lower back. So however much knee bend you need to, rather than be rounding, be lifting your sit bones up. And then with your left hand on your waist, lifting that left elbow towards the ceiling. Your right hand can push down through the mat. So another rotation. You can feel that line from your base of your pelvis through to your head. And then if you like to, you can add reaching the arm up, watching that the arm isn't behind you or rolling in. Your thumb will be pointing forward, and it should feel a comfortable position in your shoulder. Taking a breath there, broad across your chest, exhaling that top hand down. And then from there, making your way back to the top of your mat to the lunge. Either dropping your knee down, coming up and stepping back to child's pose, or you might plant your hands down, step back to a down dog again. Exhale to a plank, knees up or down to lower. Finding length along your spine, breathing into the little prone extension, and then pushing back, taking a breath in child's pose. So wherever you are now, your child's pose or some kind of rest position, just let your breath rhythm slow just a little, and shift to lying down with your knees bent. However you like to have your arms, whether you want to have your hands on your tummy or your arms out to the side. And just notice that feeling of releasing of effort when the ground, the floor is there to support your body. All the muscles can start to relax. And you might notice how that changes your awareness of your breathing as well. Suddenly that can feel more relaxed. And you might like to soften around your eyes. You
could wiggle your jaw, release your jaw and your tongue. See how it feels if you think about softening your throat. And let an exhale soften through your chest and shoulders. And a round of breath softening through your tummy as you breathe in and expand, and breathe out and release. From there, you might like to turn the video off and set a timer just to rest for another 5 to 10 minutes if you have time. Otherwise, we're just going to stay for a few more rounds of breath before we sit up. Just resting in the gentle rhythm of your breathing. Just rolling to your side, pushing back up, and just have a little move around sitting up, see how you're feeling. Maybe taking a slow, smooth breath in and a slow, smooth breath out. And thank you for joining me today.